Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Fan Perspective. I was originally going to include this in tomorrow's edition of NBA Weekly, but I decided to make it its own little section just to talk about this because the trade deadline has now passed and there were no major blockbuster things. Most of the teams involved in trades were either trying to alleviate some cap space or maybe just add a little bit to their bench. But as far as I can tell, there weren't really too many starters, much less big-name all-stars on the move. I honestly never even heard most of these names before. But here we go. Here are all the trades that I could find. And if I missed anything or if I got some information wrong, please feel free to tell me. Because I am not in any way associated or affiliated with any members of the NBA, all the major sponsors. I don't have any family or friends who are players, coaches, or any owners or anything else. I don't know any reporters or anything. But so I had to dig to find all of this. For some reason, there wasn't too much available to me just right off the bat. So anyways, here we go. This is what I found. This is all the trade news that I found. There was a trade between the Houston Rockets and the Sacramento Kings. The Kings acquire Patrick Patterson, Cole Aldrich, and Toney Douglas, while the Rockets get Thomas Robinson, Tyler Honeycutt, and Fransisco. I cut off his last name. I'll put his last name in the description. Be sure to read that. And the Rockets also had traded with Phoenix. They sent Marcus Morris to the Phoenix Suns in exchange for a second-round pick. There was a trade between the Celtics and Wizards in which the Celtics gained Jordan Crawford and sent Leandro Barbosa and Jason Collins to the Wizards. The Orlando Magic sent J.J. Redick, Gustavo Ayon, and Ish Smith to the Milwaukee Bucks in exchange for Beno Udrih, Doron and Tobias Harris. Atlanta sent Anthony Morrow to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Dahntay Jones. The Raptors traded Hamed Haddadi and a second-round pick to the Phoenix Suns for Sebastian Telfair. The Miami Heat sent Dexter Pittman and a second-round pick to Memphis. And it seems like all they got out of it was a little bit of breathing room for their roster space, on both their roster space and for their salaries. I'm not really sure how that all works. Go Google it yourself. Look for more details. I'm still new to the business side of things. I usually just watch the games. I don't pay as much attention to the actual number crunching and shit. But yeah, they basically just kind of sent this player away for nothing. Apparently, at least that's what I have been informed of. The Bobcats traded Hakeem Warrick to the Magic in exchange for Josh McRoberts. And in order to get under the luxury tax line, the Warriors sent Jeremy Tyler to Atlanta and Charles Jenkins to Philadelphia. I looked for additional information, but I am having trouble finding it. It seems like the Warriors are basically in the same boat as the Heat. Give these players away for nothing just to clear up a little extra space on their roster and for the salary cap, so that if they want to add a different piece in free agency or whatever, because there are some free agents available, you never know. Anyways, the Thunder sent Eric Maynard to Portland, and in exchange they received the draft rights of Giorgio Printizis. I cannot pronounce that. And the Knicks sent Ronnie Brewer to OKC for a second-round pick. And so yeah, that's the information that I was able to find. If you want more details, you're going to have to look on these teams' websites, because I'm guessing a lot of people who are watching this may not know who the majority of these players are. But if you follow one of these teams, or if you follow any of these players, odds are you probably know about it anyways. You probably know more than me, and so why are you watching this? Either way, that's all the trade information that I am capable of giving you at this moment. If I find out anything more, I'll discuss it tomorrow when I do my regular scheduled episode of NBA Weekly. And until then, I think the only thing I can leave you with is that for me personally, I feel that the people who got the most out of it are the Rockets. The Houston Rockets, the biggest addition is Thomas Robinson, who was just drafted in the 5th overall. First round pick number 5 by the Sacramento Kings, a 6'9" forward, and he's a bit raw right now, but he's got so much potential. And if you look at their roster, they've got so many young players. They've got a lot of guys who can be described as very streaky, because you've got James Harden, and you've got this guy, Thomas Robinson's a rookie. Jeremy Lin, this is only his 3rd year. James Harden, he's a young guy as well. So this year, you might not see too much from them. Next year, they might not be too much better, but they are currently in playoff contention right now. If the playoffs were to start right now, they would be playing in the postseason. There's a good chance they'll be in at the end of the season, but with 30 games left in the Wild Wild West, you really don't know. I expect them to be there again next year, and I think 3 to 5 years down the line, they could end up being one of the major powers in the Western Conference. You could see a passing of the torch, if you will, from San Antonio to Houston, because the Spurs, they've got their big 3, but they're all over 30. And, especially when Tim Duncan finally retires, whenever that happens to be, because he's kind of approaching 40, and as much as he loves the game, his body's not going to hold up forever. And so I think by the time that he hangs up his jersey, Cleveland will end up taking over as the number 1 team in their division. And it'll be like between them and the Thunder every year as the top 2 powerhouse teams, because those are the 2 teams with the young rosters with plenty of explosive talent. And these are players with Harden, Lin, and now Thomas Robinson. These guys, they have yet to reach their peak. These are still guys who can be labeled as they have potential. You've seen Harden, when he goes beast mode, he can drop 50 on you. We saw Linsanity last season. So we know he's capable of carrying a team. But, these are guys that are not consistently playing well. And imagine how good they'll be when Harden and Lin on a nightly basis are combining for 50 points and 30 assists on a regular occasion. When that's a regular thing, they're going to be a nearly unbeatable team, especially if you have Thomas Robinson getting double-doubles with rebounds and points, maybe getting some good blocks and stuff in there as well. He doesn't play good defense right now, but he'll learn. He's got the talent and potential, and I think the Rockets, I put the Rockets in the same boat that I put the Golden State Warriors in, because last season the Golden State Warriors made a trade mid-season before the deadline to get Andrew Bogut onto their roster, and I said that made them potential playoff contenders for the future, because you've got guys, they've got a full roster now from Bogut to Curry. They've got players on all levels, and honestly, I think if it wasn't for the fact that their 2 biggest stars can't seem to stay healthy, they would be a legitimate championship threat right now. Well, we'll see what happens long term when it comes to Bogut and Curry, because especially Bogut, his career is starting to look like he's going to be the next Greg Oden. But for now, we can hold off judgment for a few more years, I guess, maybe 1 or 2. Anyways, that's what I think about everything that's been going down. Let me know what you think. Did your team get involved in any trades? Did they benefit? Are you upset about people who didn't get traded? Because Boston's got the exact same roster. Boston, they kept KG and Paul Pierce. Atlanta kept Josh Smith, despite the fact that he wants out. Now, there was a lot of talk about the Jazz getting rid of Millsap and Jefferson. It seems like every team in the world was looking to add them. And me, I'm a Spurs fan, and all I was hearing was rumors about us trying to get rid of Steven Jackson because he cost too much, and Dwan Blair because his contract's expiring, and we barely even use him in our rotation anymore. and maybe he would probably just fit better on a different roster. Either way, trade deadline's over. These are the teams, ladies and gentlemen. And until then, enjoy the second half of the NBA. Playoffs are just around the corner, just a few months away. I'm excited. Are you excited? May is going to be a huge month. I can just feel it.